Hello and welcome to another episode of Blastercaded Painting. Today we're going to paint something that I put off for a year. Over a year. It's a miniature I've wanted to paint, and I wasn't originally going to paint for the channel, and I decided that I would, and that I would try to push myself a little bit to make it look really good. I don't know. We'll see if I achieve that. I'm pretty proud of the result. But I can warn you right now, I'm normally, I think, known for shorter, easier to follow paint tutorials that don't use a lot of colors and end up with a good result, like easy techniques. This one's going to be longer. I'm just going to warn you now. It's a miniature I was a little, I guess a little intimidated by, because my original plan was to paint it and use the airbrush quite a bit, and I decided that I would do a video and push myself a little bit so that I can present it to you guys. So, yeah. Having said that, let's not even bother with all the jokes and silliness. Let's just get right into the painting. So first thing I did was give it a dark spray and then a zenithal of white from above. And it's a pretty heavy zenithal, but let's get started. And we're off to a great start because I didn't film the paint bottle that I used for the first color. But after this, I filmed them all. But anyway, first thing we're using is Griff Charger Gray, and that's going to be for the skin. Here it is. So that Griff Charger Gray is going all over the skin. Now he has a very pale blue, green, gray sort of color skin. This is perfect for our undercolor of what we want to achieve. And yeah, we're going to get it everywhere. Now, since we're using speed paints, we don't want to spill over to other areas. So just be careful and take your time and get it all on there, a good even coat. Next, we're taking some Dusk Red and some Speed Paint Medium, which I'm shortening to SPM because I don't want to say Speed Paint Medium every time. And this is going to go all over the fur and hair that he has. I guess it's like a cloak of pelts and heads. It's going all over there. Even the parts that are going to end up being skin, just get it everywhere. Next, we're taking some Moonlight Coral and some Speed Paint Medium, and this is going into the wounded areas where he has bones growing out. This is an absurd, crazy miniature. We're also putting it into his mouth. So, just all in there and where those bones and skin sort of meet. Next, we're taking some Velvet Red and some SPM, and this is just going to go all over the cloak. So that really deep red that we want, this is our undercolor for that, and yeah, Velvet Red is a really, really nice deep red color. Next, we're taking some Bony Matter here, and this is going all over the bones that are growing out of his skin. So not any of the bones on the bases, just the bones that are coming out of his skin, because, you know, he's a weirdo, crazy monster. Then we're taking some Occultist Cloak next, and this is just going to go all over his hair that he has, because, geez, this miniature's crazy. He has hair, even though he has bones sticking out of his bald scalp. Anyway, and then we're going to take some Tyrian Navy, and this is going on the claws and the toenails. So, want a nice darker color that still kind of goes with his skin color, I guess. So anyway, all over there. Next, we're taking some Runic Gray and some Warrior Skin. Now, this is going to be for the bricks on the bases. So we're going to do some in Warrior Skin, some in Runic Gray, and we're just going to go through and pick out those blocks. And it takes a little bit of time, and then I'm also going to take some Nazdrag Yellow and get some of the other blocks that I didn't miss. So we've got 3 colors of blocks here, and this... just be patient, take your time, because this does take, yeah, it takes a little bit of time picking out each and every little brick. Next, we're grabbing some Desolate Brown and some SPM, and this is going on all the ground cover on the base. So I did glue sand to the other parts, but yeah. And we're taking some Bold Titanium White, and we're going to dry brush over the entire miniature and the base. So everything we just painted, we are now going to dry brush over, mainly staying to the parts that light would be hitting if the light was above. So like a zenithal dry brush, and you want to use a good soft makeup brush for this so you don't get too much streaking. Definitely go watch how Artist Opus, they have a YouTube channel. Watch how they dry brush. We're kind of emulating that, and you're getting it everywhere. Now we're taking some Basilicanum Gray and some SPM, and this is going to go all over the fur on that pelt head cloak that he's wearing. So we've given it a kind of a reddish brown, and now we're going to give it a dark, this is almost like a black wash. It's going to darken and sort of deepen our colors there. Then we're taking some dwarf skin, although that bottle says dwarf skin, and it's going all over the heads that are sticking out of the pelt cloak. I don't know what you would call it. It's just furs, but like also has some heads in it. And it's also going all over these skin areas of the head pelt cloak thing. And we're going to take some skeleton horde next, and this is going to go all over the horns. So everywhere we put that bony matter before, we're putting this skeleton horde. You could also use palette bone, but skeleton horde I think is better. And any of the bony parts, and we can also put these all over the base. Next we're taking some jasper skin here, and this is going to go as a highlight up on the skin areas of the cloak, and also the human heads that are hanging out in his I don't know what it's called. His trophy fur pelt head cloak. There should be a name for it. Can we look up a name? Somebody name this thing, or let me know in the comments below what it should be called. Anyway, it's going all over the heads in there and all over the skin parts. But yeah, let me know what this thing should be called here. Next, we're going to our Moonlight Coral, Speed Paint Medium, and Poxwalker. Now, the Poxwalker is going all over the skin, and the Moonlight Coral is going all over where we put the Moonlight Coral before, right next to those wounds and in his mouth. Now, while things are still wet, we'll start putting in our Poxwalker as well, and wet blending those two colors together. So, we want to be careful here, and not let it blend too much into the skin, but definitely get it in there so it blends just those areas where those wounds are kind of reaching the skin. And then the Poxwalker can just go on all the rest of the skin. Next, we're taking some Black Lotus and some SPM, and we're just going to put this over his hair. And yeah, that Black Lotus is pretty good. It's a bluish black. Next, we're taking some Desert Yellow here. We'll get out our dry brush again, and we're going to dry brush up all of that, the thing that you're going to name, the hair, pelt, fur, cloak. We're just going to do a light dry brush of Desert Yellow. Next, we're taking some Lizard Folk Cyan here, and this is just going to go all over his fingernails and toenails. Then we got some bright red, and this bright red is going all over the cloak. So just get it over every part of the cloak, any part where it's red. Take your time, don't get it anywhere else, and this ends up looking good. Next, we're taking some Barbarian Flesh, and we're going to do a edge highlight up on the skin sections of that fur pelt, and also on the faces, of course, that are in that pelt. So just go in and bring up that color a little bit more. We're going to take some Pale Sand next, and we're going to do some highlights up on his teeth. So just go in very carefully, pick out those teeth. You want to keep your colors in between the teeth, though, so your dark colors. We're also going to do this just as a sort of an edge highlight up on the uppermost parts of those bones. So we're just bringing that color up, starting down at the bottom and sort of bringing it towards the end. And we're just picking out a highlight up on all of that bone on him. Next, we're taking some Malignant Green, and we're just going to use this as a thin wash all over the heads on his pelt cloak, just to make him look a little bit more dead. Okay, so that's like a double slap chop with a couple extra highlights and stuff like that, and some dry brushing. You could stop here and do your metallics, and he looks pretty good, but I want to bring up some more colors, so we're going to do that now. So now we're taking some Marine Mist, and this is going to be a sort of very light edge highlight, but not edge highlight. We're picking out some of the most raised details of the skin. So any of the parts of the skin that are in shadow, we're staying away from. So we're just picking out like the line of his eyebrows, his chin, his nose, his jaw. And we're just going to be really careful and just try to get the raised details, leaving all of our colors that we've worked on in the recesses. And we just want to bring up some of these areas. And it's just a nice, bright color that's just going to give us some really good contrast and some shading and really make his skin pop. And I mean, like, the skin looked really good with just the double slap chop method, but this is just us really popping those colors out, going the extra sort of mile, so to speak, to bring all those colors up, and really just, I guess, maybe push our miniature a little farther from just double slap chop into a different category. Next, we're taking some Pixie Pink here, and we're doing the exact same thing we just did, but this is more of an edge highlight right where those wounds are. Yeah, over all those wounded areas, and obviously his mouth. But we're just bringing that color up as best as we can, and yeah, it looks really good. Next, we're doing our metallics, and we're starting with plate mail metal, and that's going on any of the bits that we want to be silver in the end. So, chain mail hangy bits. Then we're taking some greedy gold, and that's going on any of the gold bits. So his necklace, his bracelets, his rings. Yeah, we're getting that gold on there because, you know, he's a fancy guy. He, I believe in the lore, he thinks that he's like a regal gentleman. And he's not, but he thinks so. Dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And next we're taking some weapon bronze, and that's going on any of the parts that we want bronze. The Army Painter metallics have really good coverage. You could use the speed paints if you wanted, but I really wanted a solid coat. Next, we're taking some strong skin shade, and we're going to use this to shade down all of the metallics we just did. So, really easy. Just go through and shade it all down. Next, we're taking some deep red, and this is going on the gem that he has embedded into his head, which reminds me of Diablo sort of soul stones, and the gems on his rings. Next, we're taking Dirty Down and Nihilic Oxide. This is the verdigris, and we're going to start with the verdigris, and we're going to put it sort of into the deeper recesses of the armor, and we're just going to put it basically everywhere on the armor. And just get it in there. It's really cool. Let it dry completely. Then we're going to take a wet brush and we're going to wipe away some of the areas. So we're going to leave some areas with it on their full tilt, and some areas we're going to wipe it away because it's just water soluble and you can do that. And this pushes it into the recesses. Then we'll take our Nihilic Oxide and we can go into the deepest part of the recesses and just sort of put little spots of this on there because this is a really nice, vibrant sort of color. Then we're taking some Basilisk Red. Okay, so I'm going to cheap out and do sort of a reflection here. And this just goes in the upper part of the gem on his rings. Then we'll take some Lava Orange, and this goes as sort of like a half crescent swipe at the bottom part of the gems. So kind of like like a crescent moon, sort of. Then we're taking some matte white. We're going to put a dot in the basilisk red part that we just did. And we kind of want to get them in the same area so they look like light hitting it and reflecting. Then we'll take some volcanic yellow here, and this just goes as a tiny little swipe in our lava orange, and that gives it a bit of a gemmy reflection sort of look. Then we're taking some salmon here. The salmon is going to be used as a sort of reflective highlight on the gem that's in his head. Just kind of get some of those raised areas just to have a reflection. Take some rainforest next. We'll dot in his eyes. We'll do all the same colors we did on the base again because of the dry brushing. And then this guy is done. So the video is obviously longer than I normally do for videos, but I really wanted to push myself a little bit. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Better than a normal paint job that I would normally do on this channel. I definitely am really proud of the result. I'm really proud of how it looks. Not using an airbrush, it's probably the best miniature I've painted. I really took my time and really went for it. So to speak. Obviously, there are much better painters on the planet than me, but this is a good way to show you guys that you can push yourself a little bit. If you're looking for simple paint jobs, that's fine too. I just wanted to do something a little bit more, and I really wanted to have this miniature look great. And as always, we want to thank our Patreon supporters, Charming Grenade, Richie Fender, and LK. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. You can always support us over on Patreon if you'd like. And you guys have a great day.